Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, Ireland's only answer to Harry Kane, bringing you a preview and everything else you need to know for the big game tomorrow, Tottenham Hotspur versus Leeds United, with special guests Cody Mack and Kieran from Let's Talk Spurs, and we will be joined by Mr. Dele from Tottenham away. Lads, we'll start with Cody. How are you keeping, my man?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Feeling pretty good, you know. It's probably the best news we've had in quite a while as Spurs supporters. Arsenal crashing out. We don't have to listen to them anymore. It looks like they'll be out of Europe. We'll pass them in European coefficient. They got to start in round 2 of the League Cup. Life's good.
I absolutely love it. I love it. Yeah, my mood couldn't be any better. I'm going to touch on that in a minute. But Kieran, how are you, my man?
I'm good. Like Cody said, good evening. And look, forget about what happened a few months ago. We'll just focus on yesterday and take that mood into today and into tomorrow, and hopefully get 3 points tomorrow as well.
100%. And look, to the Harris Army out there, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. So look, you know, Arsenal have lost. I do encourage everybody, get over to all the, you know, Arsenal social media pages, AFTV, and banter them. Let me tell you why. Because they always give it to us. You know, we always fall for it when it comes around to playing them, and we don't stick it to them. We're always cautious. Look, their season's over. They're finishing 9th or 10th. No European football next season. So absolutely stick it to them Gooners. I've been looking for them all day today. I've whipped out the binoculars. I've gone camo. I've been rolling around outside trying to find them. They are nowhere to be seen. So look, you know, if you can find one, please point me in the direction. I have a few things I'd like to banter them about. But as well, you guys, the Harris Army, you're lucky. You're getting double the dose of Dave today. You're getting double the content today. We're going with a Leeds preview right now, and then at 9:30 we will be going with the members call-in show for all you members out there, all you loyal guys. I want to say a massive thank you as well to you, the Harris Army, for your incredible support. You know, the channel is only growing and growing. It's getting bigger and bigger. I'm getting asked to do more and more things, and it's because of you guys out there. Every channel I'm on, you get in, you let them know that the Harris Army is in the building. It's absolutely incredible. All the people that have supported me financially with the super chats and with the channel memberships, you guys are all heroes. You are helping me create a dream of being able to do this full time. And look, what's better than the Irish Hotspur sitting here doing this content full time? So big yourselves up. I just wanted to say I appreciate every single one of you. I even have a little banner here to tell you how much I love you. So I'm just going to bring that up as well. But let's welcome a few people into the building as well. But before we do, let's do the formalities. Don't forget to smash a like on the stream. Don't forget to smash a subscribe on the channel if you are new. Also, the link for the channel memberships is in the description box below, or in a pinned tweet in the chat if you want to come on at 9:30 and have your say on anything to do with Tottenham. If there is any Leeds fans tuning in, also feel free to grab membership. Come on, I will speak to you about tomorrow's game if that's what you like. And also, don't be afraid to get those super chats in. Like I said, I really, really do support the channel. Helps me get better equipment to be able to bring you better shows next year. I want to be able to bring out the Tottenham breakfast for you guys next year. I have it all planned. It's all ready to go. I'm just in the process of getting myself a nice computer for it as well to be able to make it happen. So that's going to be whopper. So look out for that next season, along with a lot more content. So yeah, thank you to all you guys out there. Let's welcome a few people into the stream as well. We have Mac. He says, "Come on, you Spurs! Would you start more in this game?" We will be touching on that, Mac. Caleb Nusev says, "Frenemies was absolutely great, David. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it, my man." Some Night Young says, "Let's go. Come on, we're the Tottenham boys, and we are making all the noise." CD says, "I think we win this game comfortably, 3-1 or 4-1. Not enough is on the line just yet for them to break our hearts." ATX7 Gamer says, "Let's go, boys. We need those 3 points tomorrow." Of course we do. Big up ATX7 Gaming. Big up Priyansh Rao. He says, "Good evening." He's absolutely loving life. Good evening, Rao. Island Life is in the building. Big yourself up. Wayne Bonner, poor old Arsenal with a few laughing faces. Big up, Wayne, an absolute legend. Mr. Daigle will be joining us shortly. Mr. Daigle is here. He says, "Hello, everybody. I should be 20 minutes maximum in this house. house husband, Lark, isn't easy, lol. Mountains of laundry. Look, Brian, you know what? You should be putting the foot down with the missus like I do. No, my missus asked me to do laundry. I play dumb and I don't know how to work that contraption. You know what I mean? I pretend I don't even know the name of the machine and everything else, so I get out of it. You know, so you need to start playing stupid, Brian. Let them think they have to muddy you. You know what I mean? That's the way to play that. But big up, Brian. Sue Smith is in the building as well. Big up, Sue Smith. And we have AV Troops. Big up, AV Troops. And we have Kelly TV says, good evening. Good evening. Dolphins Cry is in the building. Big up, Dolphins Cry. Cody Mack is also in the chat there. Good evening to all. And to all a good evening. Absolutely love that. Jack Kaneki just said, just finished some very spicy jerk chicken wings, David. My mouth is on fire. I'm actually jealous, lad, to be honest with you. I actually got some jerk barbecue sauce, man. It's absolutely amazing. Russ Vernon, hi, David. If you're on for a bit, mate, I'll be happy to come on, give a Leeds point of view. Yeah, Russ. Look, do you want to do the post-match show tomorrow, my man? Because I'm not planning on being on here too long this evening, man, because I have the fan show at 9:30. The Smasher's in the building. Big up the Smasher. Lokman Eunice is in the building. Leo Gamer's in the building. He says, you lot are legends. You're a legend too, my man. Mr. Edwardson, big yourself up. So, yeah, big everybody up there. But, look, I'm going to put a few things you need to know. So, look, we are away tomorrow at Ellen Road. It's a 12:30 kickoff. Join me on the pre-match pump-up on We Are Tottenham TV from 11 p.m. And then after that, join me over on the Matt Hayes watch-along as well. Man in the middle tomorrow is David Coote. He is the referee. But, Cody, look, we are looking to complete the double over Leeds. Can it be done?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think we have more quality than them, but I will say that Leeds are no mugs. You know, they've just coming off a loss here to Brighton 2-0, but that's their first loss in 7 games. And within that 7-game stretch, that includes a 0-0 against Chelsea, a 0-0 against United, a 1-1 draw with Liverpool, and a 2-1 victory over Manchester City, and they were down to 10 men for a good part of that game. That might have been the best scalp of the season in the Premier League this year. So that's 4 Big Six teams that they have gone toe-to-toe against here in the last 6 weeks, and they've only conceded twice. So I think when we think of Leeds, we think of them as being a defensively kind of wobbly team. They have conceded, 53 goals this year, but they've been much improved here over the last little while. Bielsa's got the good coffee brewing, so they're no mugs, but we should have enough to beat them. It's really Ryan Mason's first test. Like you could say Manchester City, nobody really expected us to go in there and take the cup from them. We've battered Sheffield, and we had a good second half against Southampton. This is the first match where, if we're looking at the form we were in before Mason took over, this would have been kind of a toss-up as to what was going to happen. But I fully expect us to go in there strong and have a good game. Yeah,
100%. And just quickly, Cody Mack, Will Stewart, your boss, is in the building. Big up, Will, absolute legend. Will Stewart, thfc rants. Cody Mack is on here representing part of the team. The link for Will Stewart, thfc rants, if you want to see Will ranting, if you want to see my man Cody Mack as well, is in the description below. So just click that and get over and smash a subscribe on it. And just quickly as well, Josh Wiggins says, thoughts on Enoch offering up our stadium for the Chelsea scum to win UEFA Champions League in it. Honestly, you couldn't write it. You couldn't write it. He would rather take money for hosting the game and let us get ribbed if Chelsea win it. Imagine this, Cody.
You know what? It's every day that goes by, you think that there's no limit to the lack of shame that this man has. But every single day, he seems to be pushing the bar lower and lower and lower. Just look at the ticket prices: £60 for the game against Villa. Bayern Munich, they charge £104 for a season ticket. A season ticket. It's absolutely a shameful the way that this club is run. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. They're abusing the fans, both English and international fans that love the club more than they hate the owners, and it disgusts me.
It's an absolute joke. Will Stewart says, smash those lips on the like button. Kieran will be back shortly, lads. His dinner is ready. He arrived to the house a bit late. Big up Will as well. William McKenzie's in the building. Big yourself up, absolute legend. And we have a super chat here from Dark Sun G21. Big up Dark Sun G21. Says hopefully Newcastle get points against Leicester later. Also, if West Ham draw against Everton or lose, they will probably be under us 4-0 or 5-0 win. Dark Sun G, love that comment. Something I will be touching on, but I'll give you a little insight into what I was thinking. So, West Ham play Everton this weekend. If Everton beat them and they have a game in hand, so the incentive is there to beat West Ham because they have a game in hand on everybody on that top 4 race as well. If they win them 2 games, they will be, I think, a point above West Ham, which puts them in a position, especially if Chelsea lose to Man City this weekend, which they are playing. And then if we win, it puts us 2 points off top 4 with 3 games left to go, Dark Sun G21. But I suppose you already know that, my man, because you're a man for this. I do love your comments, my man. Big yourself up. We have Kieran back. Big up, Kieran. Dark Sun G21, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Love the optimism there. Kieran's back here. So, look, Kieran, Leeds are, like what he was saying there, Leeds are off the back of a good run. Beating City in the empty hat. They took a point off Liverpool, a point off United, but probably putting what Leeds fans are saying is their worst performance this season against Brighton, where they lost 2-0. What Leeds do you think is going to show up tomorrow against Tottenham?
I think realistically tomorrow, whether they're on good or bad form, like Cody said, this is going to be Ryan Mason's first test. And realistically, when you look at the way the team's going to line up, it's kind of a clash in a way because Leeds are going to be quite intense. They're going to press quite intensely from the front and try and close us down. Identically, we're probably going to look to try and play the same way, considering Mason wants to kind of play like Poch did. Or that's what it seems like from his press conferences and the way we've tried to be played recently. So I think whether on good or bad form, I think it's just going to be whether our players are up for it or not. I think if we come out and play well, I think we should realistically get the job done with the quality we have. If we're not on it, then I think it's just going to come down to who takes their chances more than anything, because I think there will be chances in this game for both teams. Yeah. I think it's just going to be a case of who takes their chances. If Kane's on form, if Bale's playing, he's on form, or whoever it is, just need to take their chances. Realistically, I don't think Leeds are in too bad form, to be honest, personally. So I think we'll see a good side.
And 100%. And come here, just like I was asking Cody, man, what do you make of Levy willing to take money over pride for us fans and giving Chelsea the opportunity to potentially win the Champions League in our stadium, especially since we only got beat in the final?
I mean, this is the thing. Look, it's money, isn't it? It's money because we're going to get something out of it. Personally, I wouldn't have it. Like Chelsea, of all teams, you're given a chance to win the Champions League, the greatest club trophy, arguably, in club football. You can give them a chance to win it on our ground. And if not, it's not like a foreign team could win it. It's if Chelsea don't win it, it's Man City who have just beat us in the cup final and are going to beat us in the league.
Yep.
So, you know what I mean? It's not just Chelsea. It's you're letting one of two English clubs beat you. Well, but not beat you necessarily, but win one of the best trophies in club competition at your own stadium.
And not only that, if they finish 5th, we finish 4th, and they win the Champions League, they take us out the Champions League, and they have a chance to do that in their own stadium. That's a joke. And Brian Daigle, yes, them rumours are true, my man. He's just putting it in. He's asking, is the rumours true? Imagine that, Cody. You know, he's giving them a chance to take Champions League out of our hand in our own stadium.
I don't want to talk about that anymore because, and you know what? It's kind of gross that the British government would go and add Turkey to the red list. I mean, how much of a risk do these guys really pose of bringing in the next wave of COVID? The UK are way ahead of other first world countries in terms of getting the pandemic under control. I see no reason why they would make a decision like this. There hasn't been a big outbreak linked to international competition so far. A few players here and there over the international break in October turned up with COVID, but generally it's not a risk factor. So I think they should just let Istanbul host the game as planned. They deserve it. They've done all the planning. They put all the money into it. They deserve to reap the rewards. Just play it the way it's supposed to be played and get on with it.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And just for the only time our stadium will see the Champions League Cup is when another team wins it in our stadium. Connection Spurs says, Buenas noches from Emery. Big yourself up. Dark Sun G 21 legend. Thanks for the super chat as well, my man. He says, when I mean probably under us, I mean for the rest of the season, as long as we go on a winning streak. Also, if Chelsea and Leicester drop points this week, they are in huge trouble. 100%. I agree with you, my man. And he says, I hope Liverpool loses against Southampton this week as well. And JRD says, why can't they just have a final at Wembley? What the hell is Wembley there for? 100%, 100%. And Terry Wright says 100% Cody Matt. And Spurs Zone TV says, go on, Big Dave and Mac Daddy. Get liking, guys and gals. There's fire in the house. Big yourself up, Spurs Zone TV. Absolute legend. Everybody get over and check out my man as well. Whoop, big yourself up. Everybody as well. Look, there's 75 of you watching. I don't know why you aren't having your dinner, so big up. Like I said, do the basics, smash a like on the stream, subscribe on the channel, and also do not be afraid to get them super chats in. They really, really do help the channel grow, and it's greatly, greatly appreciated as well. But look, Spurs have scored in 11 consecutive Premier League games. Surely, like, we should have no problem scoring against Leeds tomorrow, Cody.
Yeah, you know what? I think that the key, I mean, you could say this about any game, but I think in particular against Leeds, it's going to be important to score the first goal because I have a confession to make. When we were playing Jose ball earlier in the season, to get my fix of like truly entertaining football, I was watching a lot of Leeds United Football Club because they play an attacking brand. They're like Tottenham light, you know, they play the Tottenham way in some respects. So I was really enjoying some of the football that they were putting on, even when they were getting battered, because, you know, it's like guilt-free. You don't have to worry if they lose. You know, you're not emotionally invested in the club. So they've been very entertaining. But one thing that does tend to happen is when Leeds concede first, they tend to concede often. And we saw that in the first leg against them. You know, we opened them up on the counter, and then before you knew it, it was 3-0, and it was game over. So, but we don't want to be trailing going against these guys. You know, if we concede first and we have to go on the front foot against them, it's going to play right into their hands. So that first goal is going to be absolutely key.
100%. I couldn't have said that better myself. That's what I was thinking. But Kieran, look, there's 35 years of an age difference between Mason and Bielsa. Do you think the wisdom, experience, and knowledge could be a factor if Leeds do beat us tomorrow?
I think that's a bit of a, like, in theory, if we're just talking managers specifically, I think the knowledge to make the right substitutions at the right time to impact the game or to change shape or little tactical tweaks, potentially. However, if you kind of counter-argue that with look at the kind of quality between the teams, obviously I'm not saying they have bad players, they have good players who all put in a shift. But when you look at kind of the quality, there are a lot of our players like Kane, Son, we've got Bale, obviously people like that who can be the difference in this type of game. So yeah, I think, look, Bielsa might have the knowledge and the experience to maybe change the game. But like Cody said, if we get the first goal and we kind of get it in the first half, sets ourselves up really good. And that's the thing with Leeds. They're a team that even if they're one goal down, they will continue to press. They'll continue for the whole 90 minutes. They'll just keep playing their game. But the one thing they do seem to do is when they concede the first goal or they concede 2 goals, they do slowly start to kind of crumble at the back. So I think it's important we get the first goal. And I think then it's just a case of us pushing on, and when they're kind of overextending, taking our chances and putting them away and essentially making it a comfortable game for ourselves. Like, fortunately, well, not fortunately, but my dad's a Leeds fan, so I've seen a lot of their football this year.
So I'll be there in your house tomorrow.
Oh well, we've got a bet. I think, well, it's not really a bet, but we basically just bet on the game. And he said that Leeds had beat us last game, and I said, no, you won't. And yeah, now it's obviously the bet has carried on to this game as well. So yeah.
What's the bet?
Well, It's money.
Oh, nice. Well, look, do you know what I mean? Make him sit down and watch the pre-match pump-up, man. I'll definitely get him nervous going into the game. I definitely have him wound up as well. And actually, come and join me on it too. But big up Nigel Gates, absolute legend. How you keeping, my man? But look, one other stat I do want to touch upon. Honestly, I nearly had a heart attack when I seen this. I was drinking a coffee and spat it out everywhere. I couldn't believe it. But we have a record holder amongst our ranks tomorrow, guys. Moon Boots will be making his 200th Premier League appearance for Tottenham if he plays tomorrow. Cody, my God, what's going on? Like, this guy how long has he been here? And he's only at nearly 200 now. That's shocking.
Well, we were talking about this before we came live on air. I don't think Dier's going in the summertime. I really don't. Not unless Roma are going to stump up 25, 30 million for him, because we know that Jose loves himself a little bit of Eric Dier. But yeah, it's just bizarre how we could hold on to a player this long, a player who we don't even know if he's in his right position at this point, a player who tends to make that mistake that costs us the game. And it's disappointing because when he plays well, he's a very good defender. But you can't call yourself a good defender if you're so inconsistent and you make big mistakes that lead to goals. You know, it's not the matter of I'm a good defender, but... And, you know, some of the things that he's come out and said in the press about his performances and his lack of form and how it's been unfair, the criticism that he's taken, doesn't really endear himself to Tottenham fans, if you're asking me. So we'll have to see what happens with Moon Boots in the summer. But it's wouldn't be surprised if Moon Boots came in for another landing at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium next season.
Surely not, man. Surely it can't happen. But before we welcome Brian into the stream, we do have Wayne Bonner, big up Wayne Bonner. He said should be a good open end-to-end game tomorrow. Yeah, probably should be. It should be. William McKenzie, 200. Dyer's in the 200 club. I know. Don't remind me. But Brian, big yourself up. Welcome to the stream, my man. Look, may as well kick it off with you in the right way. I'm sure you've been tuning in. And what do you make on Mr. Levy? Giving Chelsea potentially the opportunity to win the Champions League in our stadium for money, which basically shows he'd rather let us get mugged off if they're doing it there by Chelsea fans. So let the fans get mugged off for a price. And also, what was the other one? Yeah, and if they win it, they take us out of Champions League spot if we finish fourth and they finish fifth. What do you make of that? And it is only 7:35 in the evening. Just keep that in mind.
So I'm going to try and remain very cool because, like I said, I'm going to have a rant very first thing on the Two Brian show, which is going to make all my previous rants look like I was giving him the Medal of Honor or something. He is the guy that keeps on giving. He is a parasite. I did not even know about that rumor, because I haven't been paying attention to Sky Sports today. I've just been doing my house husband stuff. Cody, I feel your pain, buddy. I feel your pain, and I'm just doing laundry, let alone looking after kids. But the guy is just an absolute parasite. And literally, after being the most expensive ticket when we come back, one of my friends have just sent me that Burnley have sent a massive email out to all their fans saying, we can't wait to welcome you back. We've missed you. We've done this. We've done that. Nothing from this man. And the audacity. We get knocked out by Dinamo Zagreb after being 2-0 up in the first leg and kicked out of Europe. And he still hasn't apologised for anything. But it's like, do you know what? This is how I'm going to say thank you. I'm going to host Chelsea, one of our biggest rivals, in the Champions League final. The man is a disgrace. I just wish there were some governing bodies or something that could do something about this man, because it's like a dictatorship. Cody says it like treason. But it's getting to a point now where I think he's literally, all this time away, I think he's gone even more power hungry. I think in an empty stadium, he thinks he's king of the world. And I just pray to God, when those fans get back in, they let him know exactly what the story is and what the situation is. I think it's criminal. I actually think it's absolutely criminal what he's done this today.
Well, the 15th...
I can see you. You can see me. I can see you.
Cody, that's exactly how I'm starting the rant. And you just, well, it's pretty obvious. But yeah, that's literally, I'm going to say, a wise man once said, and play the whole thing.
Wayne Bonner here put in a super chat. Big up Wayne, absolute legend. What a hero. He says, Daniel Levy's football brain is as empty as a skeleton's testicles. Would you go along with that, Brian?
Don't be out of order to skeleton's testicles, mate. Listen, this guy, honestly, I've come on here to discuss Leeds. Obviously, I've got to be careful of my language as well. So, Levy, I mean, like I said, I literally, when I saw that from Josh, you saw my comment. I was like, please tell me you're joking. Please. We've had 20 managers linked, but hey, let's host a Champions League Cup final for one of our biggest rivals, who will then, like when Arsenal won the league at White Hart Lane, and won't let us forget it. What do you think Chelsea will do?
Oh yeah, I know. But look, Levy doesn't care. He'd rather take the cash. You know, he'd rather let us have to carry that burden. It's all right for him because he can just go into the executive box and shut the noise out. He doesn't have to listen to them chanting that in our stadium. But big up Wayne Bonner for the super chat. What an absolute legend.
He's a superstar.
We'll get back onto moon boots quickly, and we'll get Kieran's opinions and then Brian's opinion. We'll move on into a bit of team news. Well, look, what do you think? Look, you're his doppelganger. What do you make of you about to go out and make your 200 appearance tomorrow?
Well, look, I'm a very happy man. It's been a few years at the club. Obviously, would have liked to achieve more in my time. No, I'm just joking. But just thinking actually about leaving the stadium. Maybe it's a ploy that he can actually tell managers that we have Champions League at the stadium, at the club.
Yeah.
It's probably the only way we're getting it.
Yeah, but, that's the truth. You'd probably bring Harry Kane and all in to just lift it and everything, you know what I mean?
Oh, God. But no, look, back to your question. I think like with Dier, the big thing I always see with Dier is he can put in a shift here and there, but the thing is, he's like a master of none. If you look, when he was at Lisbon, he was a centre mid and a right back, and he's come to us and he's played centre mid, right back, and now he's playing centre back. You know, so it's like a bit of, he doesn't really have a position. You know what I mean? And I think, to be honest, I think that's part of a detriment to him. I think because the thing is, every season, 2 seasons, he constantly changes position. I think in a way that's how he's kind of racked up this amount of appearances, because he plays right back and then it's kind of, he's reformed as a centre mid, and then it's okay, well, he's no longer a centre mid, he's now our centre back. And I think that's just kind of how he slips into positions that we kind of need strengthening in, and he just kind of fills that gap for a specific time until we actually start to try and fill it, and then he just moves on to another position. So I don't think too much into the amount of appearances he's made, although I will say he realistically shouldn't have got this amount of appearances as quick as he has, because realistically as a club we should have filled the gaps rather than just moving him into those positions.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. And Will Stewart here, he says Kieran needs to get himself a Moon Boots hoodie. Will, you should donate Kieran a Moon Boots hoodie. If he comes on your channel one day, you should donate him one. It'd be a perfect fit. It's a match made in heaven. But big up, Will. Brian, what do you make on Moon Boots? Making his 200 Premier League appearance for Tottenham tomorrow. I may stress only his 200 Premier League appearance.
Before I go on to that, I just saw a comment saying that Levy's son is a Gooner. I can actually guarantee and confirm Daniel Levy's son has actually just got engaged over Christmas time to the Sky commentator Alan Smith, the Gooner. So he's actually allowing. My children won't be allowed to date a Gooner. So how the chairman is allowed, whatever. But I'm very happy I can have this conversation with you, David, because I spoke to you straight after We Are Tottenham TV, and you said, "Did you hear me talk to about what you said about Dier?" And I didn't. I hadn't watched it because I called you straight after, and then I've rewatched it. So I'm happy I've been allowed to retaliate straight away. So first of all, I've cracked Cody Mack. I think when he does this, or anyone does this, he's hypnotising people, because it's Cody Mack that started this Dier revolution. And I will say, listen, in football, you can only beat what's in front of you. And then, like you said, it was only Sheffield United. Clean sheet, he played well. Man City was probably one of his best games. You need to do it with the shark, Cody. That's what you need to do. But against Man City, he was great. And I think I've come to the conclusion that if he plays one game a week, he's the player that we know he can be, that we know is in there. Like people have been saying, right back, centre midfield. I actually liked him when he was playing centre midfield with Dembele in the second season of Poch. I actually think he did all right in that season. Obviously, there's no doubt this guy has a lot of errors in him. I'm not doubting that. Do I want him to leave the club? If I had the choice, we got good money, yeah. But you can't fault what he's done the last 2 games. Can he do it 3 games in a row? I haven't got a Scooby-Doo. But he has been playing well. Listen, no matter what, if you play 200 games for Spurs, that's an achievement, regardless. It doesn't matter who you are.
Look, I get it, right? But, it's easy to perform when there's no one scrutinising the performances.
Would you rather Davinson Sanchez play there?
No, I probably would rather Dier there, to be honest with you. But it still doesn't excuse the fact that he's not good enough for Tottenham. The guy has been here, I don't know how long. He's probably been here as long as Ben Davies, if not longer. You know what I mean?
But we know whose fault that is. We know whose fault that is.
Yeah, I know. I get that. But for me, look, his comments are just stupid. They're just stupid.
His comments are stupid, but the one thing I will say about him is, like, the thing with Dier is when he plays well, he was good enough. He played well. It's never like, oh my God, he was amazing, man of the match. It's just, yeah, he played well. But when he doesn't play well, it's like, oh, why is this man on the pitch? And I think that's the most infuriating thing. It's either, yeah, he played all right, or he's had an absolute blunder. And I think that's why we just kind of look at him as like, holy shit, we need to get him out.
Honestly, though, Kieran, when I look at this guy, right, he's as slow as a wet week. It takes him 3 hours to turn. Honestly, it takes him 3 hours to turn. Like my granny turns quicker than him. So David, she's not even alive, man. You know what I mean? She turns quicker than him. It's an absolute joke, man. Like, the guy is too slow. He cannot positionally get in positions quick enough. He's not good enough for the Premier League. His comments were, I was playing well. Yeah, I had a run of bad games, but I'm back playing good now.
But
he stopped playing well in the top of the league, needed him to keep playing well.
I'm not saying, just to clarify, I might have not put my point across more. I was more saying to, like, Brian, like, the thing is, look, he may have had some good games under him, but more than not, it's kind of been blunders or mistakes after mistakes. You know what I mean? But I think you probably agree with that, Brian. He has had, Brian, yeah.
That I totally agree with. Don't get me wrong. He should never be given a microphone. He is the most boring person in the world to talk to. I would rather watch paint dry than listen to an interview with him. He's that bad. But what you got to remember with him is he's a scapegoat. You look at Reguilon. The last couple of months, he's been woeful. Let's be honest. But as it's Sergio Reguilon, no one says anything. He's a Real Madrid. He's this pacey. Eric Dier.
Sergio Reguilon's been here less than a year.
Yeah, but if you make a mistake, you make a mistake. Eric Dier, don't get me wrong, he's a centre-back, and when he makes a mistake, obviously with our defence not being as great as it has been in the past, it's an easy target. But you don't see, every YouTube channel has been there slating Dier. I've been one of them. I will categorically put my hands up and say it. But if Reguilon has a bad game, it's Sergio, he's only been this, no, he's this. No,
it's not that hard, right? It's every time the likes of Winks, Davies, Dier, every time they put 2 good games together, all the little fanboys are back out of the closet telling us how great they are, and then they go shit again. We fall for this trap every single time with these guys. Every single time. As soon as they come on and have one good game, people are everywhere. Oh, maybe we should start including them. When are we going to get it? These players are just shit and not good enough.
David,
we can't get them out. Go on, Cody.
What I think I'm hearing from you is that you think that Eric Dier should be getting a testimonial.
Definitely not. Look, I'd say Alex would definitely think so, 100%. But look, Wayne Bonner sent in a super chat. He says Kieran was more convincing than Moon Boots. Big up, Wayne. I absolutely appreciate it. There is over 119 people watching now. It's insane. Smash a like on the stream, subscribe on the channel. Do not be afraid to get your views and suggestions in the super chat, or your questions for the panel, or anything you would like us to discuss. And it really is a great way to support the channel. And also, don't be afraid to grab your channel memberships, white or gold, for the fan show later on this evening. But we will move on from Moon Boots. No point in getting too bogged down. He gets bogged down on the pitch enough. So into a bit of team news. With Tottenham, look, the only player out is Ben Davies. With Leeds, Helder Costa is out. Rafinha and Calvin Phillips. It's probably be decided tomorrow morning whether they're going to play or not. I'd be hedging my bets on Calvin Phillips starting with Rafinha coming off the bench, because Rafinha has been out for a hell of a lot longer than Calvin Phillips. So that's what I'd be hedging my bets on. But before I give the lads a question, Paul Markey has come in with a super chat. He says, Dier is mediocre at best. Spurs demand a top-class centre-back. Big yourself up, Paul Markey. I could not agree more. Absolute legend, supporting the cause as well. Another true member of the Harris Army. And look, I couldn't agree more. What do you think, Paul Markey? Get him out. Let me know, my man. Absolute legend. But look, another couple of things is to pick up on Ryan Mason in the press conference, which we will actually be talking a bit about the press conference in a minute. But he did say that Lucas Moura had picked up a knock in the Carabao Cup final. That's why we didn't really see too much of him against Sheffield United. But do you expect him to be back in the starting lineup, Cody? And who for?
This is going to be an interesting question. I put a poll out on Twitter today asking people if they would start Dele Alli, because
I've seen it. I was raging with the results.
Yeah, it's 2 out of 3 would start Dele, and we know that there's a big subsection of Spurs fans who are still Dele truthers, despite the fact that he really hasn't done much in the last 2.5 years. You know what I mean? Wayne Bonner, legend.
Yeah, Wayne Bonner with the super chat. A statue turns quicker than moon boots. 100%. You know the score, Wayne. Oh, big up, legend. Sorry, Cody.
Yeah. It's really hard to kind of interpret what the whole agenda is here if they're going to start Dele in a game where, we need a strong 11 in order to secure a good result. If Dele starts tomorrow, I would have to think that we are either there's two ways to look at it. Either we are making a sincere attempt to rehabilitate Dele Alli as a player, or we are making an attempt to inflate Dele Alli's worth before we ship him out in the summer. I would have to think that it would be the former instead of the latter. We all know that Daniel Levy blocked a loan move to PSG in the January transfer window, and that he still seems to believe that there is a player inside Dele that we haven't yet seen in at least 2 years. Personally, I would start Lucas, because Lucas, he's been so good here since the beginning of March, and especially in that number 10 role in terms of pressing. That's the kind of player that we need to put pressure on Leeds. You look at the way that we played against Leeds last time. They gave us the ball in their third. That's where we got a lot of our opportunities from. So we need to be able to press and press well. And that's something that I don't think Dele brings at this point. He's not match fit. He showed a lot of rust against Sheffield. I didn't think he was anything special against them. There were moments, you see, he grew into the game. I'll give him that. I'm not going to say he was a complete waste on the pitch, but he didn't really bring that much. So if we're serious about winning our last 4 games, if we're serious about making a run at top 4, Lucas has to start for me.
Yeah, 100%. Look, you got me at Dele truthers. Absolutely loved it, Cody. That's absolutely brilliant. But I fully agree with you. I think Lucas has to come back in for Dele. But Wayne Bonner says, what exactly is Davies' injury? Look, he's had he picked up an ankle injury like 7 weeks ago now, and he just hasn't been right since. I don't understand it. Look, maybe I'm hoping they just realise he's not good enough. He's gone in the summer. That's what I'm hoping. But we'll wait and see. But yeah, it's down to an ankle injury, Wayno. And then we have Will Stewart in here with a super chat as well. We'll just get Will Stewart. He says, David, I know you don't want Kane to leave, but if he doesn't go this summer, is it time to start questioning his winning mentality more? Will, that is a fantastic question, my man. I am going to stop and answer this, and then we will get the other guys' thoughts on Lucas. Look, it's different with Harry Kane, and I know you're going to sit there and be like, why, right? He has Jimmy Greaves' record to chase. He could retire at Tottenham and be Tottenham's greatest ever goal scorer, an absolute legend of the club. He has the Premier League record to chase, Alan Shearer's Premier League. Now, I know we can say, he could go to City and win that. But my feeling is Daniel Levy ain't selling him to Man City. I don't think he will sell Harry Kane to a team in the Premier League. That's just my feeling on it. As far as his winning mentality it's something I have maybe questioned.
Back in 1 second.
But no problem. But with Harry Kane, the reason why I have questioned it is because I know he was injured in the Champions League final. We had another final against Chelsea in the League Cup. The final just not so long ago. Was he injured? Was he not? He hasn't really performed in any of the finals. So, in a way, I question it myself. But You give him the tools that he needs. He's that good of a player. You give him the tools that he needs. One man can't win anything on his own. You do need to put the pieces in and around him. But for me, I would say of them all, I'd say Harry Kane probably has the most winning mentality, especially when he went down to the change room at halftime against Ajax and gave them a team talk and everything else. I would say he has a winning mentality. But Will, an absolute great question, man. I do appreciate that. Might caught me a little bit off guard with it, but love it. Absolutely love it. Anyone else want any thoughts on Will's comment there quickly, actually, and then we'll get back on to Lucas Moore. Anyone else? What training?
Sure, I like Cody first.
You know what? It's so hard to pin down what a winning mentality actually means. Harry Kane, we know him as the utmost professional. He is always going to work hard. He's always going to show up. I know what Will's saying, right? If Harry Kane wants to win trophies, why would he stay at Tottenham? It's a legitimate question. You know, he's not a spring chicken anymore. He's one serious injury away from maybe not being the same player that we've seen here in the last few years. Who knows, you know, but he's also the type who he seems to be extremely loyal. You know, I think he would be reticent to push his way out of the club. So I don't see him leaving this summer. But if we don't see some kind of new direction going into the summer of 2022, yeah, you can bet your ass that Harry Kane will be saying, okay, it's my last chance. It's my last chance. He's sitting here watching the likes of Christian Eriksen, the likes of Kieran Trippier, the likes of Kyle Walker, all guys who pushed their way out or were sold, and they're going to be lifting major trophies. And does Harry Kane want to spend his entire career without lifting one? Who knows? I know you make a good point about the individual accolades that he has the chance to eclipse here. But, you know, would you rather be Matt Letizia or would you rather be Sergio Aguero? It's an interesting question, but only Harry Kane knows the answer to that.
That's a good comparison, man. Anyone else want to have their say on with the super chat, lads?
Yeah, I'll go hear him.
I think the thing with Kane is I don't think he's necessarily interested about going and winning La Liga or going and winning Ligue 1. I think he is kind of one of those people who's grown up with the Premier League era and with Tottenham, and I think that he wants to achieve things within the Premier League and then obviously within Europe, whether that be Europa League or the Premier League. Because I don't think he would leave Tottenham to go abroad personally. I think the only place he'd really go to win trophies is Man City or another team within England. That's personally how I feel, because otherwise, why wouldn't have he tried pushing for a move now or even before, when he knew he could have gone to one of those other teams in Europe and potentially won trophies. So I feel like he wants to break that Premier League record, and I think he will probably only want to move to another English club. The thing is, he probably won't get that transfer. So I think that's probably why he's staying with Spurs, thinking, okay, maybe I'll stay with them now, and then maybe I can get a transfer to another English club at the end of the next season. And I think it just keeps going in that same cycle over and over. But like Cody said, it's a bit hard to pin down winning mentality. If you're talking about trophies, then only Kane will know that, you know, and only he can tell us what his ambitions are truly. You know, without that, all we can do is guess. But I'd say more than likely, he 100% wants to win trophies. You know, you can listen to his interviews lately where he's been saying like, I'm happy that I got this trophy, but I've got like 10 other personal trophies at home. I want to win team trophies, you know. So I think he does want to win them. I think it's just about the right move for him more than just a move.
Yeah, 100%. And Mr. Daigle?
Yeah, so I mean, I always had it in my head, in my wildest dreams, if I ever made it as a Premiership footballer and got to Tottenham, that I would never, ever leave Tottenham unless they tried to sell me, because that is my Real Madrid. That is my Barcelona. He's been an incredible servant. But do you know what it is? I don't think it's us that he wants to leave. It's the regime. He has done everything that we have asked and more just to be lied to constantly. And this isn't me, it is me taking another swipe. But if you had a boss who kept saying, you're going to get promoted, or we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and every single time let you down, you're going to start saying, well, what the hell am I doing? If I'm hitting these accolades, and like when Shearer could have gone to United, bloody hell, if he had gone to United, they would have had won absolutely everything. But he stayed loyal, went to his hometown club. But there's only so long he can say, "Do you know what? I'm doing everything you asked of me. How about you give me something in return?" I'm hoping and praying the Tottenham inside him says, "I want to stay. I want to break Greaves' record," which is a lot closer in sight than obviously Shearer's. It's whether this season I don't think we'll get the money for him. But I do completely understand and kind of agree with what Will says.
I understand the question. I understand the question. But big yourself up, Will. I really do appreciate the super chat, my man. Absolute legend. Good question. But look, Harry Kane, number 10, best number 10 in world football. Look at that luscious head of hair he has. That number 10 on his back with Kane above it. Oh my God, I love the guy. Kane is a winner. That's what I say. And Marcelo, I'm telling you, bro, big up Marcelo. Nah, I never question Kane. He is our greatest ever player. We have a super chat here from Dark Sun G21. He says, I'm looking forward to next season since we have some fresh blood coming in. In the name of Session and Skip, please, Mr. Passion, which is Harry Winks, big up Dark Sun G21. I like that. Sissoko, Coco, Dier, and Davies out 100%. I'd go along the lines of that. I definitely agree to that. Big up Dark Sun G21, another great super chat, my man. Everybody else, follow Dark Sun G and Will Stewart Leeds, send in your super chats. Let us know what you think. I will be getting other people's comments back on screen. But Kieran, Lucas, do you think he should come back in ahead of Dele Alli tomorrow?
I think for this game, it makes sense if he's 100% fit. And look, Mason said in his press conference he did have a knock, but he's trained all this week without any problems. So if he is looking kind of match sharp, or at least the levels he was before he picked up that knock, then why wouldn't you? Like Leeds are this team that's going to realistically bring this high intensity.
Sorry, I'm not waving my head at you. I'm waving my head at the chat.
That comment, But look, Leeds are going to bring an intensity to this game, and to be honest, it's not so much that I think that Dele Alli can't bring that intensity, but I just don't think he would if he started. Whereas I think Lucas will do that running, and I think Lucas just overall his pace will allow us to kind of bring the ball forward a lot more when we do win it. And I think he's kind of just. I think, to be honest, I think Lucas does a lot of work in front of the other two midfielders, that he does kind of make their job a little bit easier. I just doubt whether Dele is really going to put in that shift and still have his mark on the game. I think if you can bring Dele on, it has to be the second half maybe. But look, I think Moura should be starting ahead of Dele tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%. I'd agree with that. And Brian, what do you think? Lucas ahead of Dele?
I'd rather play the bus driver or the kit man instead of Dele Alli. What right has he got to play? Just because he's got that spider on his head now, he all of a sudden can play football. Been disgusting for the last few seasons, the odd game here and there. I'm a little bit concerned that this Lucas injury has only just come out now, not straight after the cup final or before the Sheffield United game. But Lucas, it's like they took him off and we could see he was the best player and everyone was going mad. Why don't you come out after the game and say, well, Moura had a knock, that's why we took him off? And then it's like, oh, okay, if that's the truth, then fine. I think it's very, very suspicious. Moura has got to start number 10 if fit. I don't want to see Dele Alli on the pitch at all, or even on the bench. Why does he deserve it?
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you. I don't think he does.
Can I just say something on that? I think what potentially might have happened is one of those ones where he comes off, they go back into training, then kind of after the cup final, and I'd say it's probably then something that's kind of been brought up, that's maybe something that's niggling him a little bit, that maybe wasn't to Mason's knowledge in the cup final when he brought him off, but kind of was.
Kieran, what about for Sheffield United? They would have known before Sheffield United, which was a week later.
I'm not saying. Yeah, Sheffield United. Yeah, I agree, but I'm on about necessarily the cup final when you're saying, "Oh, why is he brought off? He's our best player." I'm saying maybe he wasn't brought off because of a knock in the cup final. Is what I'm saying. Maybe it was something that was brought after. But I agree with you with the Sheffield United. That probably should have been mentioned.
Tottenham Hotspur, the team that just keep giving us nonsense.
We have a super chat here from Will as well, and I do want to talk on the Ndombele situation as well. Will Stewart, big up Will. He says, I want to see more Messi-like leadership from Kane. He is the only one untouchable by Levy, and I wish he could call the board out more if he says. Do you know what? Interesting, very interesting. I was actually listening to, I cannot remember what it is. I was listening to something the other day, and apparently, like everyone at Barcelona hates Messi, they think he's actually a little reason. They think he's a prick, basically. They love his footballing ability and everything else, but his personality, apparently, like, sometimes even under Guardiola, like, he's allowed to just walk in, kick a ball around for 20 minutes and fuck off again. Apparently, like, they really don't like him. The people in and around the club actually, like, they love him as a footballer, but don't like him as a person. Don't know how true it is. But I get what you're saying, where, Harry Kane, he needs to have that leadership role where, he needs to be asked about the next manager. He needs to be asked about transfers coming in. Because if you're a player for his talents, like, why wouldn't you go to him and say, look, what kind of winger do you think we need for you to get the best out of you, Harry? What sort of centre attacking midfielder can we get to help you? You know what I mean? Like, this is the thing. And then, for instance, when they had Toby and Jan there, they could have went to them and said, look, what midfielder do you think we need sitting in front of you? Do you think we need sitting in front of you? Like all these things, and we just do it backwards. But I 100% get what you're saying. Kane does need more of a leadership role in there. But he's also in a position where he loves Tottenham that much. He thinks like us fans, no doubt about that. But like at the same time, is he really going to start calling out Levy? I don't think so. He's not going to rock the boat. He's not that sort of man. He just wants to concentrate on his football. But I would like him to be a bit more vocal. I get what you're saying, man. So big yourself up for the super chat. What an absolute legend.
Can I just comment on that? Sorry, David, can I just make one comment on that? All I want to say is I don't care who the next manager is. Their first job that I want them to do is make the Terminator, the Bionic Man, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg captain. End of.
Yeah. He
is the one that will be verbal in the right position. He is the man.
Mr. K says here, if Kane didn't have a relationship with Levy, he would have left some time back. Maybe Poch kept him in, and Jose was chosen by Levy to keep Kane and Poch sacking. Now it's his time to go. I've said that before, Mr. K, where I firmly believe the Mourinho one was kind of to appease the likes of the winners in the squad. We have another super chat there as well from Nigel Gates. He says, Ndombele injury talk is a bit ridiculous as well. He just realised he was injured. Tough to believe Mason on that. 100%. Like, he didn't say that before the Sheffield United game. Didn't mention that about his injury before the cup final. Nothing after the cup final either, when fans were screaming, why wasn't Ndombele playing? Nothing after it. Nothing after the Sheffield United game. So it'll be interesting to hear what he thinks on this, because apparently he only trained the day before the Sheffield United game. Mason said he was out with a muscle injury. Do you expect him to return to the starting lineup, first of all, Cody? And second of all, do you think it's a case he fell out with Mason and he only got him back to training the day before the Sheffield United game? Do you think Will Stewart could have been right along there?
Maybe. I do think it's total, utter bullshit what they're coming out with about this injury news 2 weeks after the fact. Sorry, just quickly.
Big up Nigel Gates for the super chat. Absolute legend. What a hero. Sorry.
Yeah. You know what? If he's coming out and saying that Ndombele was hurt now, I would expect him to draw into the lineup. Otherwise, now you said he's fully fit. He's trained this week. There's no more excuses as to why he's not going to be in there. We saw what Lo Celso brought to the pitch there last week. It was kind of so-so. He got stomped on. Yeah, I mean, how are you going to explain away Ndombele's absence from the lineup tomorrow is beyond me, but I don't believe a word that's gone on with this injury news with Lucas and with Ndombele. I think it's just like revisionist, trying to cover up some of the mistakes that have been made here in the last few weeks, especially when it comes to the cup final.
Yeah, I fully agree with you, Cody. I really do. And Island Life says here, but wait, I've seen Ndombele in many training videos and pictures. Look, I haven't really, to be honest with you, but I believe you, my man. Kieran, what do you make on the whole Ndombele situation?
To be honest, not much. Like, he didn't say he had a muscle injury. He just said muscle problem. Like, it doesn't say what it was. Muscle fatigue, is it? So whatever. You don't know what it is. We do know that. I'm not saying this is the case. I'm not trying to defend anyone. I'm just obviously trying to give alternatives to potentially what it is. Obviously, we know he's fasting as well, so it literally could just be muscular fatigue from fasting. Like, obviously, people like Aurier, maybe, they're different. They're able to sustain it well, but obviously, we generally don't know. He didn't say it was an injury though, He just had
Yeah.
muscle problems. We don't know what extent they were. We know that there's footballers that have been out for 2-3 days before in reports because they've got a bruise. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? You don't know what extent this muscular injury is. It could be the slightest little thing. It's just like, it's a little bit niggly.
Do you think it could be a slight way of, look, you've had too many burgers?
Could be. But look, he's on the bench, wasn't he? Was he on the bench? No, I don't think he was on the bench against Sheffield, was he?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't really look at the
I can't
bench
actually
too
remember.
much.
I can't actually remember if he was or not.
I think they caught him making French fries at the training ground late one night. He wasn't supposed to be doing that, you know. Like, we've been telling you, get off those burgers and French fries, and he just couldn't help himself. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're gonna kill me here. You're killing me, man. I'm about to die. I can't catch my breath. But no, 100%. And look,
just to clarify, he was on the bench against Sheffield, so I don't think it must have been that big a muscular issue, because otherwise he wouldn't have been on the bench. So I would say it's just probably something very, very small. You know, I wouldn't say as much.
Yeah, 100%. Mr. Brian, so what do you think on the end of that situation? End on French fries, or a case of, look, it's just what Will was saying, he had an argument with Mason, or it's true, he just does have an injury?
I don't believe a single word of anything that comes out of my club. We're a club full of Pinocchios right now. That's all we are. No one. I said this weeks and weeks and weeks ago, that no one talks to anyone. The chairman don't speak to the manager. The manager's not speaking to the players. We have photographers and video people showing Ndombele training, but apparently he's injured. This is how stupid our club is at the moment. We can't even film an injured player because he's playing. There's not a word. The only person I believe at the football club right now is the guy when we're playing at home that reads out the lineup. And even then I have to check to see the right players are on the pitch. So with the Ndombele thing, I haven't got a clue whether it's an argument, whether it's a muscle injury, or he strained an eyelash, or his big toenail came off. I don't trust a single word coming out of the club. If he's fit, he should play. End of. But I just watch it now because I'm programmed to watch Tottenham. But until everything is resolved, I don't believe a sodding word that comes out of the club.
You know what it is, David? You know what it is? They tore down that drive-through that he had in his house, and he went ahead and rebuilt it, so he's being punished for that.
No, he refused to have salad with his chips. But Will Stewart, Brian, first of all, I love the way no matter what question you get asked, you can just turn it to the board, and I absolutely love it. It's a skill, it's genius. But Will Stewart,
well, the thing is, David, you look at it. I've just got to say, you look at it. Who says yes to everything at that club? Who signs the checks? Who says yes to hiring? Who says yes to firing? Everything. Yeah. And the thing is, I'm one person that's got a bit of a reputation for being a little bit Levy out, and I'm not letting it drop. During this time, I am not letting it drop. I'm going to come out in full force. So everything resolves back to him.
Yeah, 100%. Will Stewart, thfc rants. He says Messi is INTJ. Do you know what that means? Anyone?
Introverted and judgmental.
Not a clue.
Okay, he's a personality type. Introverted. Oh yeah, introverted and judgmental. I don't doubt people think he is a jerk. I'm also 100% right on Tanguy and Lucas. Great super chat. I agree with the first part, and you have me sold on the Ndombele situation 100% on that, Will. Lads, moving on. Big up Will for the super chat as well, legend. Everyone else, feel free to get your super chats in and get your questions into the panel. But look, Cody Mack, how big is it for Leeds to have Calvin Phillips back? And take this into consideration. They win 48% of the games when he plays, compared to 28% when he doesn't play. So if we see him tomorrow, we probably will see a much improved Leeds.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's part of what makes them tick. Then there's a few players who might be missing time here that might benefit us. But one player that I want to zoom in on is Patrick Bamford. You know, this guy gets a lot of stick for being the type of player that doesn't really put away his chances. But he's got 14 goals this year from 15.82 xG. It's not a bad return. You'd like to see a little bit of a more of a clinical striker performance, that's for sure. But he's definitely going to be their biggest threat. And he scored a beautiful hat trick against Aston Villa earlier this year. It was absolutely gorgeous. He also has a habit of hitting the bar quite a bit. So, like I was saying earlier, the biggest thing about this game is to score first, because Leeds, they've kept 10 clean sheets this year in 34 games, but they've conceded 52 goals. So that means in the 24 games that they haven't conceded a goal, they've conceded an average of more than 2 goals per game. So really, it's if they score first, they really do tend to get the pitch going downhill the other way, and they take advantage of that. So it's whoever strikes first is going to have a huge advantage tomorrow. But all we can hope for is that we have to prepare for a fully fit squad. That's what you're going to prepare for.
Yeah,
we'll see what the team sheet says tomorrow.
100%. Will Stewart back again with another super chat. What a legend, guys. Someone relieve this guy. Put in a super chat. It really does help the channel grow. It helps me, like I said. I'll say it now. There's 116 years that I am bringing out the Spurs breakfast next season. It's going to be a cracker. I have it all lined up. I'm just getting in better gear to be able to do it. Your super chats will really help go towards that. It'll be a Saturday thing where every Spurs fan around the world can get involved. It's going to be a cracker. And Will Stewart says, after Mason saying today that Levy is for this club, anyone who still thinks he isn't to Levy Shield or backs him, I can't help you. I fully agree. Will, just hold that thought, my man, because I am going to ask these guys. I have another question for them after the Calvin Phillips one. And then I am actually going to talk a little bit on that press conference. And pretty sure Brian's view would be very, very entertaining. So we'll just hold that thought, and I really do appreciate the super chat, my man. And of course, we can't help them if they haven't woke up now and they don't think Mason is just the puppy dog. Kieran has a good reason. I agree with his reason, like with Mason being a bit of a brown nose as well. But big up for the super chat, Will. Kieran, how big is Calvin Phillips with that stat? Like I mentioned, 48% win rate when he plays compared to 22 when he doesn't play.
Yeah, no, I think he's massive. I think if you look at the tackles, the most tackles in the league made, I think I can't remember. I've seen it yesterday. He's either the top or he's in like the top 5.
Yeah, I looked at it there last week. He was up there. Yeah,
he's ridiculous numbers. But he's actually Luke Ayland's first in the league, or first between defenders. But he's up there anyway. But I think he's a massive player for them. Puts in a shift, and I think that when he isn't there, they do kind of miss him. I think the thing with Leeds is there's so many, like, they're not necessarily the most skilled individual players in every position, but every player will work their arse off for the team. But I think Calvin Phillips is one of those players that is a little bit, I don't want to say above the rest because I don't think he is, but I think he's one of those players that impacts the team more.
Yeah, 100%. And Brian, what do you make on Calvin Phillips? Look, he's so crucial to how they play. He wins the ball and he's the base, so he starts all their attacks. He's so good at passing. He can pass through the lines. He can put it over the top, and that's how Leeds are very good at breaking. Of course, because they do it with a lot of pace. How crucial is Calvin Phillips? Obviously, we hope he doesn't start tomorrow.
He's extremely crucial. He's played himself into the England team on merit. When he first got called up, people were like, what's going on? How's he got in? He's done it on merit. He's performed for England. And this is why people like Dele Alli cannot be on that pitch. Because if he starts breaking up play, Dele Alli isn't tracking back. Dele Alli isn't going to commit. Dele Alli is going to leave space. He is a vital cog in the wheel. He really, really is. He's like Dembele was for us. He stops. All right, Dembele used to just get the ball and run past people, but Calvin Phillips has got a pass on him. And obviously, like we said, if our defence aren't razor sharp, those passes will exploit us. He is vital to them. And let's just hope it's not someone doing the Jose Mourinho saying, he's not fit. Oh, there he is. Which I'm thinking is going to happen, but he is crucial, and that's the main number one reason why Dele Alli can't be in this on the pitch or anywhere near the pitch.
Yeah, 100%. I'd agree with that. And look, Cody, Leeds have actually tightened up a good bit at the back. like the first 25 games, right? They can see there was 86 goals in their first 25 games that they played, and that's for and against, compared to 16 in their last 9. Do you think that's Marcel Bielsa finding another way? Because he's been labelled with the burnt out tag. Do you think that's him finding another way to still get results until the end of the season?
Yeah, I definitely think that there's an aspect of management going on there, that they've made adjustments to what they were doing there. Just look at the results in the last 7 games. Like I was saying, you played Chelsea, United, Liverpool, Manchester City, and you only concede twice. I don't care what you say. That is not luck. That has to be down to management and coaching. But a couple of things that would surprise you about Leeds: they actually spend 32% of the game.
Sorry, Cody. David, I'm going to have to go. I've got an email that I've got to respond to, so I'm going to have to let go lively. Guys, thank you for having me on. Love you all. Have a great weekend. Speak to you soon. Enoch out.
Enoch out, bud. Anyways, Leeds, in terms of where they end up spending most of the time, they actually spend 32% of the game in their own third. And that's the most of any club in the Premier League. When we think of Leeds United, we think about an attacking side, but that doesn't really play out on the stat sheet. While Spurs only tend to spend 24% of the game in the opposing third, joint last with Palace and Wolves. We all know why that is, and the problem that is now over to Roma. So it'll be very interesting to see. Do we have an opportunity to maybe hand them in? We'll have to see. But I don't know how they've been able to really ratchet things up defensively. You have to give it down to the manager, absolutely. And Marcelo will love that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Marcelo will be absolutely at home. He'd be big smile on his face. I can see him now standing there going, "I'm telling you, bro." But Kieran, what do you think on Leeds tightening up, and what has he adjusted to be able to tighten Leeds up to?
Just by the way, actually, I was waffling a minute ago with Phillips. I was actually mistaking him for Alan. It was it's who I thought you were talking about. To be honest, but look, to be honest, I don't know. I think the thing with Leeds, if you look, they've basically played the same thing. They've not necessarily adjusted their play style too much throughout the season, have they? I think maybe just little small tweaks.
It's not as frantic. They don't play as frantic as they were at the start of the season. Yeah,
like if you look at them compared to the Liverpool game at the first of the season, I think, like you said, I think they're just a bit more reserved. I think if you look at the Liverpool game, they were all out, pressing from the front, trying to break down Liverpool, and all that just left them was vulnerable at the back. But then on the opposite hand, they'd win the ball up the pitch, or they'd go up the other end of the score, and we end up with that 4-3 game. But look, I think all they've done is just, like you said, played a little bit frantically. I think they just become a little bit more smarter to the Premier League when to press. I think with some Championship teams, you can just put pressure on them, and they will break down with that intensity in the press that they can bring when they do. I think with the Premier League, a lot of teams just kind of found a way to just essentially just pass the ball around, knock it around between them. So I think they've just kind of become a little bit more intelligent, a little bit more smarter of when to press, and I think that's maybe backed up by the stat that Cody brings. We kind of think of them as this team that's pressing forward and press on the front foot, but if you look, they spend quite a lot of time in their own half.
I'd agree with that. Look, this question I didn't actually have planned, but look, do you think we should play the same way we did under Mourinho, Cody, or do you think we should or what way do you think we're going to play tomorrow?
Well, it does beg the question, like we brought in Ryan Mason, and everything that he has said that he's trying to implement kind of flies in the face of what Jose was trying to do. But in the first leg against Leeds, we handled them quite easily. In fact, the way that they played seemed to play directly into our, our hands, so to speak. So, this comment here from Will Stewart, not worried about Leeds, tailor-made for Son. Maybe, but you know what? What type of football are we going to play? Are we going to try and hand them into their own third? Because that kind of neutralizes Son's ability to get in behind. If they're playing, a block of two blocks of 4, and we've seen Sonny kind of struggle to deal with clubs that sit back like that. So it'll be interesting. I don't expect Leeds to play as poorly as Sheffield United did last week. I mean, that was just an absolute cakewalk. I don't expect us to have the kind of space and time to be making the decisions that led to the goals that we scored against Sheffield. That was an absolute cakewalk. I'd say Sheffield would probably be in the bottom half of the championship this year, the way that they've been playing. So it'll be interesting because, as much as we all love Sonny, we got the shirt back there right now. He has been a little bit Jekyll and Hyde, and same goes for Gareth Bale. Whenever we've come against teams that play good, tough defense, these guys can sometimes disappear. So it's worth questioning whether or not we play that brave front foot football that Ryan Mason's been trying to implement.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. And big up Will Stewart for the super chat. Absolute legend. Not worried about Leeds tailor-made for Son. Look, Cody Mack does have relevance to what you were saying there with Son struggling against low block teams, but Son looked like a relieved man when he scored, and I agree. I agree with Will. I think he's tailor-made against Leeds. So big up Will Stewart. And we have Dark Sun G21. He says Newcastle scored and it's Joe Willock. Look, Arsenal, the club that keeps on giving, getting knocked out of the Europa League last night. Joe Willock to Newcastle so he could do us a favour tonight against Leicester. Big up Dark Sun G21. My man, what a legend. Super chat. Great super chat. I'm going to give you super chat of the day. I really do want to give it to Will Stewart, but look, maybe Will Stewart can send me in one that might change my mind. But look, you've made my evening, Dark Sun G21. Absolute legend. What a hero.
He's made my evening.
Yeah. Good evening. Come on. But Kieran, my man, what way do you think we should approach this Leeds game tomorrow?
Personally, I think no matter what way we perceive we should play the game, I think there is only way that we're going to play it, and that's the way that Mason set us up recently. I think we're just going to continue that because I think with Mason, he's not necessarily an experienced manager who's had time with this team that he's going to be able to sit them down, and change the tactics up. I think he's trying to get them to now play how he wants them to play at the moment and play attacking football. So I just can't see him, for example, if he wanted to play a low block, for example, I can't see him, even if I'm not saying it is the right thing, but if it was the right thing to do or what I thought we should do, I just don't see Mason changing the team up for that. I think he's just going to play one style of football, and that's what he's going to get the team to do, exactly the same as he's done against Sheffield. In the last game, he's going to try and continue that for the rest of the season, I would say. Yeah,
100%. I'd agree with that. But look, lads, quickly, I do want to touch a bit on the press conference. Look, I was saying to you off there, Cody Mack, this journalist who turned around to Ryan Mason and says, oh, how good is Harry Kane? I was saying to you, it's like asking a man with 10 kids how good his missus is in bed. The answer is there. He's 10 kids. It's obvious. What a stupid question. You know what I mean? What do you make of it? He got given such an easy right. Surely, if you're some of these parents and you were listening to them answering the questions, you'd be like, why did I waste my money on sending these to college? I could have got the Irish hotspur to go in and do that and paid them to do that. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ, Cody, what do you make of it?
Honestly, that was the worst press conference that I've ever seen, and I sat through 8 years of the Bush administration here in North America. that was absolutely, you couldn't even call that journalism. You know what I mean? It's like they invited the grade ones in to ask them the questions today. I think that part of the reason that you're seeing some of these softer questions, one, they're being hamstrung in the press. They're being told these are the questions that you can ask. These are the questions that you're not to ask. Because you saw in the first couple of press conferences, when they asked Ryan Mason the tough questions, he deflected. And then finally it got to the point where he looked over at the press secretary, and the press secretary had to step in and say, stop asking these questions, basically. So I don't know if the press have just given up on actually asking quality questions. Like they didn't even ask hardly a question about the actual football match this weekend. It was utterly pathetic. And I certainly hope that that's not what we're going to be fed here in the last month of the season, because that was a waste of 23 minutes of my life. I'll never get that 23. I had to watch it twice because I ended up watching it with the We Are Tottenham TV boys. It was awful. It was god awful. It was absolute trash. I couldn't believe it.
And a quick question. Marcelo says, Sonny has scored or assisted in almost every game. Cody, come on now. Jacqueline Hyde, question mark.
Oh yeah. He went like 2 months without doing anything. Essentially, I love Heung-min Son. I'm not saying Sonny's not a good player, but there have been stretches in this season where he's been invisible on the pitch, and we can all admit that. Especially, look at the cup performance that he had. He wasn't scoring or assisting in the cup final, was he? Like he doesn't show up every single game. He's a little bit of a purple patch player. He always has been. He's been amazing this year. One of my favorite players. I'm not trying to say Sonny is shit, but you have to be honest with yourself, Marcelo, if you're going to say stuff like that. You have to be honest with yourself. I'm telling you, bro.
Oh, that's absolutely comical. Kieran, I know you were working today. Did you see the press conference today?
I did see the press conference.
What do you make on the press conference?
I don't even know what words to describe it as, to be honest. Look, I think his first press conferences, they were constantly asking him the same questions about Super League, etc., etc. And I think maybe that people have been told, like the interviewers have been told, not to ask certain questions or questions about certain things. However, like you said, have you been getting sleep? Right, cool. I can imagine, because he said before the final that he wasn't getting sleep. But the Harry Kane question, like, come on, do you really need to ask that? Like, come on, there's stats that literally that you can look at.
He's analysed every week. He's one of the most analysed players in world football.
Exactly. Like, before every one of our games, if Harry Kane is playing, he's always brought up, and there's always stats about him, about how good he is. There's always analysis of how good he is. Do you honestly think, as well, that you can ask Ryan Mason, the manager of Harry Kane and one of his best friends, how good is Harry Kane, despite all these stats backing up, and he's going to go, yeah, mate, I think he's a load of shite. He's so overrated. Come on, you know what answer you're going to get from him. What a pointless question. Like, it's genuinely a waste of a question.
I'm just wondering, Ryan Mason, sometimes when you take over as a manager, you tend to get constipated. How have your shits been lately? Have you had good bowel movements? Have you drank enough coffee? How are the beans in the kitchen this year? Like, what? I don't understand. It's just fucking garbage. It was unwatchable.
He may, like you said, he may well just ask them what coffee beans are in the coffee machine. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's such a pointless question. Honestly, when he comes home, whoever he's living with should hit him a stupid smack. Just wind up, run up, and just a little scalp across the back of the head, so he gets that short, sharp shock, so he'll never, ever be so stupid again. But you know what I mean? It was just ridiculous. It was pure brown nosery in the highest order. You know what I mean? It was a joke. Look,
the only thing that could have made that... The only thing that could have made that press conference worse is if it was done in the style of ASMR. So they'd just be whispering all the answers like this, and then we'd have to listen to it. The fucking idiots. I can't believe
it. I'm just lucky that I was listening to it during work. I had it up on second monitor while I was working, just kind of vaguely listening to what was going on. So I'm lucky, it's not 20 minutes of my life wasted. But I think if I'd watched that outside of work hours, I generally,
honestly, I couldn't believe what I was watching. Like I said, brown nosing of the highest order. It was all pally, buddy. They all may as well fucking toasted after a toast after the press conference finished, a little pat on the back, all joking with each other, laughing. Oh, them fools out there, they're going to lap this up now.
See, I mean...
great, all high-fiving to a great PR stunt. Absolutely ridiculous. What they should do is either give me the press pass. We are Tottenham TV, the press pass. Will Stewart, Marcelo, Matt Hayes, anybody that wants to do real talk. Send us in. Let us ask the questions. But they won't. Why? Because, like I said, they all want to be high-fiving each other after for a good PR job. Bob's Bar TV, big up Bob's in the building. He says, the only thing I was gutted about last night was Emery being so humble. I wanted him to do a lap of the pitch and do an Adebayor in front of Arteta and the team. # Enoch out. # Greedy 6 out. Absolute Bob Spur. Love it, man.
I like that comment as well, by the way, from Bob Spur. But just to quickly touch on what you were saying, I think, like I was saying this obviously before we went live, but I think the thing with Mason is if he wants a career in management, right, like a managerial career, one, he's got an opportunity at the moment with Tottenham, and the thing that he can't really do is go out and start throwing Levy and everyone else under the bus, because every other employer, if he's not employed by Levy as a manager going forward, every other club will look at him as going like, hang a second, he's come in and within the first 2 weeks of him coming as a caretaker manager, he's slagging the ball off and slagging everyone above him. No one will want to take him in their club. So the thing is, he can't say too much that way. But the thing with this interview is like, why are we talking about how good Kane is? We all fucking know. Can you ask questions about the match that is actually fucking coming up and ask him some questions?
Yeah,
you know, based on that. Like, yeah, I don't really want to know, you know, too much about what. Yeah, like you said, you may as well have asked him about the bloody coffee beans at the training ground, because yeah, that's about as much fucking useful info we got from this as possible. Do you still talk to Pochettino? Why the fuck do we need to know that? We're talking about
oh man, I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that. Honestly, it looked like Ryan Mason got an erection when he was asked that question. To be honest, honestly, it looked like you could see it. He was loving with his name being mentioned with Pochettino. He was relishing it. You know, we're just feeding into it. But look, Kieran, I fully get what you're saying. We do have to understand Ryan Mason's position, but unfortunately, I know this is going to sound a bit savage, right? But by us doing that, right, we're just giving Levy what they want. Oh, let's give them Mason because they can't criticise us. They're not going to criticise Mason because he's one of our own, right? So for me, I think it's important. Yes, we have to understand the situation Ryan Mason is in. Well, unfortunately, we're just going to have to call a spade and be as harsh as possible. You know what I mean? Because we cannot let Levy win. This is a stunt they are pulling. You know, and because we're lapping it up right now, you can guarantee the next stunt they're pulling is Scotty Starstruck's going to walk in the door, boom, a management, Ryan Mason assistant, you know, and everything's going to be, you know, this is what they're putting Mason out there to see if that can calm it down. If it does, let's bring in Scotty Starstruck. There's your manager with Mason as assistant. The fans going to eat this. They're not going to criticise them because, you know, they played for us. So,
you know what? You could put Dele Alli starting last week in the same category, because we know that, like, if you did a subsection of fans, there's way more people that still have good love for Dele Alli than there are detractors. You go and criticize Dele Alli on Twitter, the Dele Alli army is upon you. You know what I mean? But like in reality, this guy has been terrible for like 2.5 years. Yeah, he had a little purple patch when Jose showed up, but then he completely disappeared again. We can all agree that his attitude is shite. He's notoriously lazy in training. He's not a hard worker. How are you going to fucking sit there and tell me that Dele Alli trained his way into the starting 11 over Lucas Moura? That is the biggest load of shit that I have ever heard. This is just complete fucking garbage being fed to us at every single angle. And if anybody's falling for it, they need to give their heads a shake, because it's complete propaganda. It's worse than World War II right now.
Yeah, 100%. And look, Newcastle are 2-0 up to the good, Cody. They're 2-0 up. My dreams of Leicester dropping points, Chelsea dropping points, it could all about to become reality. And Newcastle, I was actually expecting Leicester to beat Newcastle. So this is like getting the bonus ball in the National Lottery draw. So come on. This is what I'm talking about. Everyone else, show your delight. Get your super chats in. We are going to go for about another... I have another 2 questions to ask everybody, so we'll go for about another 5-10 minutes. If you really have enjoyed the stream, do get your super chats in. Like I said, they're greatly appreciated. It helps me get better stuff to bring out better content. You're all legends, and big up the Harris Army as well. Make sure you do smash a like on the stream and smash subscribe on the channel, and big yourselves up. And then after that, we'll be going with the fan show about 9:30, 20 to 10. But last 2 questions, and it is on what's going on right now. So, like I was saying earlier on, with Everton playing West Ham this weekend, Everton beat West Ham and they win their game in hand. They can put themselves in the top 4 mix with a couple of games left to go. We have Chelsea playing City. If Chelsea slip up to City and we win tomorrow, puts us 2 points behind. And if Leicester lose to Newcastle tonight, they also have Chelsea to play, and I think they have another top team to play. So that's going to put a dent in their top 4 holes with us last game of the season. Cody, can it be done? Can it be done? Is top 4 on? Give it to me.
Come on, it's not on. Like ask me again in a couple of weeks. You know, the only way that I'm going to get the top 4 train, you're going to get me as the conductor.
You know, the later it goes on, the higher the tickets go to board my train, Cody.
That's all right. I'll start saving my money up. I'll put my pennies away. But look, I just don't want to get my hopes up. I'm just, you know what? I'm emotionally completely fucked from this year. I've just been dragged through the mud too many times. The Zagreb thing, the North London derby, pissing away points left and right, giving up leads in the last 10 minutes. I am not going to get myself up for top 4, not until we have an opportunity to go into Leicester and actually do it mathematically. That is when I will allow myself to be a true believer. Is it possible? Yes, scientifically, you can look at the math. It is clearly an opportunity for us, but let's just. It's the hope that kills you, and I've died 1,000 deaths this year already. So I'm not quite ready to put myself out there again. You know what I mean?
No, look, put yourself out there again. Nah, look, each to their own. Kieran, come on, is it on?
I've said this before.
If Leicester lose tonight, is the door back open?
Look, the thing is, right, if we're talking, can we overtake Leicester? 100%. 100% we can overtake Leicester because they have United, Chelsea and us as their last 3 games. And if they lose, which currently they're losing 2-0, and we win tomorrow, we're 4 points behind them. So there is potential that we could definitely overtake them. The thing is, we've also got to think there's West Ham who are ahead, and they've got like Everton on Sunday, who they might drop points to, but then they've got Brighton, West Brom, Southampton, who I don't think they'll drop points to. So that's the big thing. As much as it's so good that Leicester are losing right now, and it helps us so much, and we can definitely overtake them because they have a tough run of games. My biggest worry is more West Ham rather than Leicester, to be honest.
Trust me, West Ham won't make it. Trust me. I'm so confident on that. West Ham will bottle it. Look, I've said it before. West Ham are allergic to Europe, especially Champions League. So I don't think they're going to get it. The only thing they're good for is being claret and blue. You know what I mean? Getting a free stadium, a shit stadium, may I add. You know, that's the only thing West Ham are good for. But look, last thing I do want to get off is before we do end off, lads, is we'll run through a quick predicted lineup and then a score prediction. Look, I think with all the keepers, the usual, Hugo Lloris. Look, for me, I keep the same back four as Sheffield United. What about you guys?
I would probably maybe switch out Dier for Roden or someone with a bit of legs.
Oh, you're cold, man. You want to take that 200 appearance away from Dier.
True humility by the man himself.
I'll take one. I'll take one for the better of the team here, guys. I'll sit this one out for the better of the team. You know, like I said, I want to sprinkle my ashes over White Hart Lane. And you know, I show my
with Bill Nicholson
by making, you know, I show my commitment to the club by making sacrifices like this and put myself on the bench tomorrow. But no, I would say same back four, potentially Roden instead of Dier for a bit of legs. That's all I'd say. Only change, but look, if Dier starts, I'm not going to be sitting here going, "Oh, fuck's sake, how's he in the starting 11?" Look, he played well last week. Well, he played well against Sheffield United. Not that he was contested with too much. He made that one misplaced pass, and he's had a few all right performances the past few weeks. So I wouldn't be mad if he started.
Yeah, look, you know, the biggest compliment I can ever give Dier, and he's not going to get any more off me, is that I wouldn't change the back four. So look, we will stick with the same back four. You've been outnumbered, Kieran. That's the way predicted lineup works. 2 centre midfielders. For me, I want Højbjerg and Ndombele. Cody, do you want Højbjerg and Lo Celso or Højbjerg and Ndombele?
It's got to be Ndombele because Lo Celso has been given his opportunities. If what they're saying, if the reason that they're coming out with this injury news about Ndombele is to excuse the reason that he's been left out the last couple of games, then there's no excuse left not to have him in there coming up in this next match. So it has to be Ndombele.
Yeah, 100%, Kieran.
Come on, Winks is going to start.
No.
I'm joking.
No, honestly, I'll turn it off. I'm supposed to be doing the watch along tomorrow. I'll turn it off. I won't do it. If he's in the lineup, I'm not watching the game. I'm not. I have to put my foot down somewhere with this guy. You know, no, honestly. It's me or him at Tottenham at this stage. That's the way it's going. That's it. I cannot do it with this guy anymore. But sorry. Go on.
Look, I'm joking. I'd like to see Højbjerg and Ndombele. Well, we'll see it. I don't know, but I'd like to see it. Personally, like I said, Ndombele's kind of got that ability to kind of roll past players And I think, like we said before, like Leeds will kind of press us when they are like in certain moments. And I think he's kind of one of those players that can help us actually kind of beat that press in a way when he gets on top of the ball and kind of break or get forward. So I think, hopefully he starts and hopefully he plays well tomorrow and continues to be in the lineup going forward.
Yeah, 100%. We had Mary McGee. She reckons top four it was never off. Big yourself up. I love the confidence, Mary. Big yourself up. And then we also have the Smasher. He says the Irish Hotspur. When is the fan show tonight? I do have it out for 9:30. I might go for about 20 to 10, quarter to 10. I'll just leave it going for 9:30. But for everyone watching, I'll start live about 20 to 10. So big yourself up. Everyone, just before I get the last score predictions, like I said, if you have appreciated the show and you've enjoyed the show, don't be afraid to get your super chats in. If you want any quick questions answered by the panel, get your super chats in. Those who you can't, I'm not stupid. I know not everyone's in a privileged position and stuff like that. So I will keep getting your comments up on the screen. Just make sure you smash a like on the stream and a subscribe on the channel if you're new. But lads, score prediction. We'll start with you, Cody. What's your score prediction for tomorrow, lad?
3-1 to Spurs. Kane brace and a Sonny screamer. And Kane's going to get the assist on Sonny's goal too. Like, really, if we're not going to get top four, which I'm not going to say it's likely or unlikely, whatever, the least that we can do is get Harry Kane over the line in terms of the Golden Boot and the Player of the Year. You know, he's sitting at the top of both the goals list and the assist list right now. Reguilon at the death there last week, missed an open net. Let's just get this guy at least the personal accolades that he deserves if we can't get him the team accolades. 3-1 to Spurs. Cakewalk, baby.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't have said it better myself, man, with Harry Kane there. Kieran, what's your score prediction, man?
Probably going to be a bit bold. I reckon I was going to say 3-0, but I'm just going to be ambitious and go for 4-0. I reckon we'll keep a clean sheet. I think if Rafinha doesn't play, then we'll get a clean sheet. I think Bamford actually kind of brings the players behind him really well into play, but I think Rafinha's kind of one of their players that helps them break at pace. And I think if he's not playing, then I don't know. I just don't think they'll have enough kind of pace to break us down. Realistically, on the counters, I don't think they'll score. So hopefully 4-0.
Yeah, I like that. That's a big one.
Just go for it. I was going to say 3-0, but you know what? I'd love for Bale to score again. Yeah. I'd love for Kane to grab a goal as well after not scoring last week.
Yeah, I want nothing better than Harry Kane to score a goal tomorrow, man. But
I reckon he'll grab one. I reckon he'll grab one tomorrow, at least.
So hopefully 2 or 3. That would be nice. William McKenzie says Winks keeps the play going, David. Remember, Alex. I love Alex. He gives me a great laugh. I would actually love to see football through his eyes for a day to see where he's coming from. But I'm sure he thinks the same about me. But I remember that, William. Don't worry about that, my man. People want Alex back soon. I will be getting him back on. Alex loves coming on this channel. So don't worry about that. A lot of people are giving some big score lines here as well. Terry Wright says, well said, Cody. Mr. K is going 4-1. Kudos is going 2-0 and a Dier dump. Love it. So, look, for me, only winners eat steak. I'll be having steak tomorrow. I'm sure the rest of the Spurs family will. You know what I mean? So, for me, I'm predicting 4-1 Tottenham. I do believe we're going to go there. We're going to whitewash them. For me, I just can't look past Tottenham. You have Bale, you have Son, you have Harry Kane. 3 of the most prolific scorers in three of the most prolific players in the Premier League. Leeds, with Calvin Phillips, if he does come in and Rafinha comes in and make things a bit tricky. Interestingly enough, for me, I forgot to say this, but with Leeds, for me, we have to get out and close them in and around outside the box. I think it's either 24 or 28% of their goals come from outside the box this season. So, you know, they do have a good strike from outside the box, so we need to get on that. We need to close them down. We can't have what we've seen over the last while where we're 30 yards inside playing hide-go-seek and peekaboo at each other and shit like this. Can't be at that. We have to get out and get them closed down. But I'm going 4-1. I'm going to go Kane. I'm going to go Kane at the double, Bale with 1 and Son at 1. I think them trio, I think we're going to take it to Leeds. And look, probably Eric Dier will celebrate his 200th appearance with an own goal or something like that, or a mistake to gift it to them. But look, thank you everybody for tuning in. You're all absolute. Oh, sorry. No, how rude. Cody, tell everybody where they can find you, my man, and what they have forward, what they have looking forward, what they have coming up, man.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter. My handle is there at ComacDo, and I'm teaming up with Will Stewart on the THFC Rants channel. I'm gonna do my own segment starting on Wednesday. It's gonna be 11 a.m. GMT. That's 6 o'clock a.m. here in Canada. So if something's getting me out of bed before my kids are even up, it's important to me. It's going to be a one-on-one first episode, none other than the Irish Hotspur. We're bringing in the heavy hitters right off the bat. So if you like listening to David and I banter about Tottenham Hotspur and football in general, make sure you go over, smash a like at Will Stewart THFC Rants, and we'll see you all on Wednesday.
Yeah, look, you don't even have to type in that name. It is in the description in the video below, the link for Will Stewart's channel. So if you like what you've seen from Cody here, and you like what you've also seen from Will on my channel, get over there, smash and subscribe. You heard Cody, get over there. It's next Wednesday, isn't it, Cody? Wednesday. Everybody get over there Wednesday, 11 a.m. The time over this side of the world. Get over there, get in, tune in, and show Cody your support. I know how tricky it is getting your first show and doing it. So everybody, the Harris Army, I encourage you to get over there and make Cody feel like he's at home and make it easy for the guy. But look, like I say, get over there to Will Stewart's. And before we let Kieran plug what he wants to plug there, I do want to give Brian Daigle's Tottenham Away a quick shout out. Everybody get over there, check out Tottenham Away. Make sure you smash the subscribe on their button or on their channel. They do have the two Brian's show coming up at midnight our time tonight as well, which will be more or less straight after the fan show finishes. So get over and check out Tottenham Away for my man Brian Daigle. Kieran, what's your promotions, lad?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at @let's_talk Spurs. It should actually be up on the screen at the moment, just below me. So you can follow me there on Twitter. I will be creating a channel soon called Let's Talk Spurs. And obviously I'll post about that on my Twitter. So if you are interested in hearing more about me or potentially seeing other people from the Tottenham community or YouTube world, letting their opinions be known, you can follow me on Twitter and I'll be posting about my channel there. And yeah, look, I'll be on David's channel a lot more in the near future as well. Anyway, so keep a lookout for that.
Yeah, you have your own show coming out on the channel as well, and I'd love if everyone could when it is on, everyone could get in and show Kieran the same love you show me. He's a part of the Irish Hotspur family, and I know you guys will treat him kindly. Kieran, what comment was it you wanted up, my man?
Oh, that one, the one that's up on screen at the moment.
Yeah, what?
No, just that was it. I just wanted you to put that comment up.
All right. 100%. Well, look, last of all, I'm going to plug myself. I'm the Irish Hotspur. Great entertainment. It's a great channel. Trust me, things are only going to get better and better. So keep smashing that like button. Keep smashing that subscribe button. I want to say a massive personal thank you to you, the Harris Army. Everywhere I go, you guys are always in the comment section, letting them know that you're there, you're loud, you're proud, and you're always putting in #Harris Army. So big yourselves up. You're helping me get onto a lot of other shows, a lot of other channels, and getting bigger and bigger. I want to say a massive thank you to all the guys that are channel members and super chatters. You guys are all legends. Honestly, you're the ones that are keeping me here doing this and keeping getting the content out and being able to put more and more time into it. Look, it is my dream to be able to try and make this full time, and you guys are definitely helping me with it. And I really do appreciate you. You don't know how much I really do appreciate you. Really don't. What you have to look forward to, you will have the fan show tonight at, I'm going to put it at 9:45 now. So you have the fan show tonight at 9:45. Back here on the Irish Hotspur, you'll have a don't forget to join me on the pre-match pump up on We Are Tottenham TV tomorrow morning, starting at 11 a.m. I would love some of the Harris Army to get over there, get on the comments, and also come and join me on screen. That's what I really want, is you guys to come on and have your say. That show can't happen without you. And you'll be seeing me on Matt Hayes watch along, and then I'll also be doing Leeds match review as well later on that day. So everybody, big yourselves up. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. And come on, you Spurs, and evening out.
Come on, you Spurs.